Well, I'm about a quarter of the way now. There's a pack rat that lives in there, and look at it. Now something's trying to get in on the roof. We had a mouse that came in and looked right at me. Pretty sure that's a grizzly bear. He walked right through there. That's okay, the mosquitoes are so brutal, I'll let it smoke it out here a bit. Well, we're all cleaned up. Fire's out, and wood's all stacked nice and neat. Always do that, you know, always just, it's cleaner than, like, this is tidier than when I got here, right? All the fire pits all dug out and built back up and everything. I was wondering, maybe, do you think that maybe that's for people that, do you think they were digging holes to put their fire out? I wonder if that's what was going on there, because they didn't have water. I'll have to look into putting something that can go in the trees that's not like, you know, steel or anything, just something natural, but that could catch rain. It'd be nice to have a little barrel of water there. Anyway, the fire's all out nice and neat. And I almost forgot my lawn chair. Make sure you always do your rounds. Some people, they go camping and their kids leave all these little gum wrappers and bottle caps and everything and cigarette butts all over. Like, pack all that crap out, you know, make it look nice and neat. Then when the next guy shows up, they feel like they have to keep it that tidy. It's like a rental car, you know, if you rented one that was all scratched and beat up, yeah, you might treat it a little differently than one that's completely brand new off the showroom floor, you know, or at least that's how some people might. I'm gonna leave those logs down there in case someone wants to eat breakfast like I did again. Yeah, other than that, we're out of here. We're on the trail. It started raining just lightly, and then it stopped. So we're good again. It's you know, it's probably about 20 degrees, just perfect for clearing trail, not scorching hot. Boy, this thing is just going to be so much better when I actually have the rear cage and everything has its home. That's what it needs. Everything has to have a home. Right now, it's just kind of, I'm trying to organize it, and this is just stupid, but if it pours rain, you know, keeps me dry for now. Okay, ready to rock. Let's hit the trail. Let's get this trail open. Well, I hit the trail and I didn't get much farther than 100 yards, and the trail was just grown right in again. So out came Little Mac, and I got to work. Open sesame. And it's clear beyond that as well. So yeah, I normally, like, I'm not going to leave these on, I wouldn't leave these on the trail, but because I'm thinking the whole trail's probably going to be like this or close to it, I'm not throwing them off the trail. Plus, it's much harder with leaves on them. So people just have to drive super slow. I mean, yeah, there's stick stabbers there, but I mean, a little common sense will tell them not to go through here 100 mile an hour, hopefully. But yeah, then once they're driven over and the leaves die and fall off, then they'll be easy just a yard off. And somebody else can do it, or I'll do it. You see lots of spots like this on the trails where people don't even take them off. We used to not do that, but then when sticks started going through people's, but usually it's not these ones, mind you. When they dry, I guess it could. It's usually they're much bigger around, and they're not like and they're solid, right? Usually like a spruce branch or something like that. These have a little give to them. Anyways, that's what we're doing. So if you want to come out here and throw them off the trail, folks, sure love to have you. Yeah, she's all clear all the way there. Nice big stretch. So hopefully the whole trail will be like this soon. Wow. Cleared quite a bit of trail. But we're still going here. Beauty view point there. On the rest of it's all treed in. You can't see anything, but this is a nice spot. Well, I'm about a quarter of the way now, and I've already done a pile of clearing, but I'm gonna have to leapfrog it because it's not it's all like, this is as good as it gets right here. You know, this isn't terrible. You know, you'll get like little spots like this, and that's not bad. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna clear this side now. I'm gonna clear it out really good. So then they'll have this whole section that'll be really good, because when they get to the next one, it's full on bush bashing. So hopefully they'll see a pattern and they'll, like, you know, they won't get discouraged, because some people, they'll just go, and as soon as it gets into that bushwhacking, they just turn around right then and there. So I got to kind of lure them in. So as I get closer to the trailhead, I'll make my gap shorter, and it'll keep people going, right? And you know, like, people, when you get lots of people riding trails, and some people stop like this, like I do this all the time when I'm riding, and they'll just break one branch off, like just snap it off, you know? And when you got lots of people riding the trails, it actually helps quite a bit, just snapping a branch here and there, right? So the clearer I can make it, the more people use it. But I'm gonna clear it out really good, and then back there, they're in for a real treat, because I just did some serious bushwhacking there. But still nothing like what I did on that before I set up camp. I mean, that was insane. And at least this is just flat. Back there it was hills and up and down and side hills where you're gonna roll, and erosion ditches, and it's pretty cool bush in here. Just really thick and rugged, but see all these needles on the ground everywhere, you know? It's all like this, just bush. Lots of it. Dead trees everywhere, green trees everywhere, a little bit of everything. Here's some cool birds. Yeah. Okay. Well, it just started pouring, and I bushwhacked for a while there. I had to get out of it, and then I just pulled over. It's starting to slow down, see if I could get out of the rain. I'm just soaked. Boy, it sure gets cold fast when you get wet. I'll throw my jacket on, and yeah, we'll be soaked there for sure. But it's not like it's freezing outside, but it's not that warm. It's probably about 17 degrees, 18 degrees. But yeah, so here I am. Yeah, so we'll continue on. It's you know, some people say, oh, the willows, they're not bad, it's fine. Yeah, well, wait till it rains, and it's just, you're just soaked, right? So there was a good stretch there, actually, after I cleaned that section, and then it was really bad, and then there's actually a good section, and now it's going to get bad again. So, yeah, I don't know. This is where staying at the cabin would be nice, but this cabin that I'm going to, if I can even stay there, it's got no door. The roof is caving in half the time. Like, it was built in 1949. It's ancient. And it's got a wood stove in it, but there's a pack rat that lives in there, and you know, it's gonna be pretty gross if he's been messing all over. So anyhow, if it doesn't slow down in the next like 10 minutes, we're just gonna have to go through it. We still got, like, I am nowhere close to anywhere. Like, for shelter, if worst comes to worst, I'd find a clearing here and just set up my... Okay, well, it was colder than what I thought because the battery on my phone died. But what I was saying is I was just going to, I'd probably set up like a little tarp shelter and, you know, get a fire going underneath it. This spot where I was at, I came up on this spot just shortly after that part of the video. But there's this really cool rock formation. Like, the whole thing's basically a cliff that I'm riding along. And there's this really, really cool area. It's probably, well, I don't know, maybe 300 yards long. And it's just these solid, smooth rocks. And you basically have to side hill the rocks. But just off to the trail portion of it, the rocks are all kind of mashed up. And there's just a lot of little cubby holes that you could set one of these little tarp shelters in, and yeah, it's a pretty cool area. I'll go back up there and I'll take more video of that next time. My phone just wouldn't work up in here. It was just too wet and too cold. Okay, let's get back on the trail. It continues on. Well, little Mac sure is getting a workout on this trail. Holy smokes, that's the little McCulloch that I ported. My first saw that I've ever ported, actually. My only saw that I've ever ported. And yeah, it runs awesome. Usually starts first pull on a hot start. I just leaned it out a bit. We're way up in the hills, and it ran good down low, and it was running good up here, but I thought it just needs to be slightly leaner. I could just hear it burble just a bit too much. And this is my third tank of fuel just on this one stretch, so yeah, gotta save all the fuel I can. But I had to do a little repair there. It was still cutting fine and everything, but the bar was off to the side from a piece of wood got wedged in there. So yeah, so we're still going. I'm gonna go and bushwhack here for a little bit, and then we'll cut some more. Well, I finally made it. I had to stop cutting in the end and just go because it was just pouring rain. My chainsaw, a bunch of wood got bound up in it. I had to pull it apart. Just can't even move my fingers. They're so slippery from the rain and the cold. Like, look at me. I'm just I'm literally dripping of water. Look. You see that? Hold on. Like, it's just like I jumped into the lake. That wet. Oh, there's another stick under there. This has been a full-time job. I'll have to pull it out the front. Oh, jeez. Anyways, so this is the other cut line. This is actually Barbecue Point. Another trail lost. We actually used to take the Jeeps on this one. And we cleared it, I think, just twice since 2005. But we're the only ones that rode it. This one here, yeah, same thing. Look at it, just gone. Like, I can't believe it. These are epic trails. But nobody will get the chainsaw out. Like, can't do it, right? So anyways, I'm just gonna bushwhack. I'll cut like little bits here and there. If it would just, oh, hey, look at this. Hey, yeah, bring that. And then, maybe I can dry off here. The only hope I've got to get dry is I gotta get a big raging fire going. And there's a camp down there. There's two possible camps, an old hunting camp. I'd actually kind of like to stay at it, if anywhere, because I've never stayed at that one. And also, there's the cabin. Now, if the cabin was, not having a pack rat living in it, I'd definitely be going there because it's got the wood stove. We'd be dry in no time. Get a fire going outside and inside. Outdoor fire pit and everything there, so. Trail's not too bad. Sorry. Yeah, and there's these red bugs that, I don't know what the hell they're called. I'm gonna Google them though, but holy man. They're crazy. They bite pretty hard. I was driving down the trail and one bit me and I just leaned back in the seat and then just raked my back on the seat to crush them. But yeah, that was tough. That was I've never worked this hard to clear a trail, but I cleared over half of it really, really good. And then I did little leapfrog sections there, and then in the end it was just full on like bushwhacking. I mean, this thing's just full of leaves inside. Okay, we're gonna go. I'm not gonna record anymore until I get warm or something crazy happens. Well, I made her. I'm close to the cabin. Man, that's brutal back there. Saw just ran out of gas on that last log. I had to break it off to cut it. Pretty awesome here. It was just pouring rain again. It's raining right now, but it was really pouring. So we used to always come when we rode here. Like, this used to be a staple trail. We were always on that one, and it's gone. Like, nobody's riding it at all. It wouldn't even be fun. Like, it's just, I haven't ever bushwhacked. I don't think that much. Well, no, I haven't. Not for that long, anyways. So there's a creek over there, and years ago, we always used to just cross the creek. And then I came here on a trike trip one time. Me and another kid. He was on my buddy's kid. He was on an RM125, an old one, and I was on my Honda trike. And we came through here. It was getting late, and somehow I found this trail. Like, I never knew it was here. I'd been to this area a million times, but I didn't know about this trail. Or if I did, I had forgotten about it. Sometimes you don't come to the same place like for 5-6 years. Check this out. Like an old cabin. And I don't know the story on this. Whose this is or what this was for. Maybe this was his meat shed or something. To the other cabin. It's not too far away, but it's like a lot longer than walking distance. Anyways, it's just super rugged around here. I love it. Okay, well, we're gonna see. I don't know if I remember this trail being pretty tight, but we'll see if we can fit through with this thing. Well, I seen them back there, and I just seen them again. You gotta love that. Look at that. Pretty sure that's a grizzly bear. He walked right through there. Yeah, they're known, and that's who keeps coming to this cabin and ripping the door off. I'm sure of it. Is a grizz. Well, I hope he's a friendly one, because I don't got much to fight him with. 22 and can of off. No bear spray. Anyway, yeah, I seen them coming down the trail where it was wet. I could see his footprints. Yeah, well, hopefully he hears me and just stays away. Well, there she is. There's the cabin. But listen, there's somebody's got music booming over there, I think. I'm sure that's what I hear. I heard it back there. It's like you can hear the bass. We'll go check it out after. There's no cell phone service here, but there actually is an old hunting camp over there. And there's service there. I don't know, maybe there's a bunch of guys on horseback there. Or who knows, maybe somebody's on a trip like me. It's this area over here is more popular. People driving through this area, but we'll have to check it out. But we're gonna make it to the cabin here first. Well, there she is. This is kind of weird. Like somebody brought, it looks like equipment in here. And I don't know. I guess I could just be. Yeah, it looks like somebody had something with a blade. Maybe not. Maybe it's just. Holy man, the cabin is in brutal shape. Look at it. I've come here before. I put all that stuff in there. The light, the bird cage thing. And somebody went and took the bridge timbers out. And I don't know why. They didn't want us staying in here or what? Maybe? It's actually not that bad, like as far like dirtiness. I was thinking that that's probably Dex over there. He probably came up there to meet me maybe, and maybe he's blaring his music so I'll hear him, but like normally I'd just drive over there, but it's a big chore like to get out of here. Look at these tires. Like these, whoever's been ripping up and down in here, or well, the last person maybe. Like these are huge freaking tires. I thought it was like a Bobcat or something. I was like, there's no way a Bobcat obviously could get in here. But like, so either it's a Jeep, guys, or it's a, you know, the side-by-side, which are just about like a Jeep now. And they've dug out it's so deep over by the creek there that, like I could probably get out, but I'm not getting back in without a ramp or like a winch. Like I'd have to winch. It'd be a big project just to get back here. So yeah, it's too bad. It'd be cool if they would just open these, if we could get these trails opened up and maintained though, reclaim all this mess back to the way it was, and just have a nice little corduroy bridge. People could come to the cabin. Because like right now, I mean, it's raining again, and you know, it's 10 kilometers to the bottom of this. There's a road just over here, an old lease road. If you seen that video where I went and found that old well site from 1940, that's just over there, just on the other side of that hill is where that well is. And so this cabin's not far from there, like maybe a 10-minute quad ride. But getting out's the thing, right? Or getting back in for tonight. So I'm going to go to the bottom, and I mean, I'm frozen, soaking wet, tired, hungry. I got a headache. I mean, I don't think I'm going to go down there because I either have to drive all the way home or set up camp somewhere, and set up in the rain is not going to be fun. Plus, I think all my gear might be totally soaked anyways from that ordeal we just went through. So I think this is going to be home for tonight. Yeah, and then we can tell you all the stories about this cabin. I did that. I shouldn't be bragging about that, eh? But the reason why I did that was because when I came here years ago on my old snowmobile, there's a video I have. It's called something to an abandoned cabin with a vintage snowmobile or something like that. It's a picture of an old 1969 Ski Dadler. That was in 2010. So Chevelle had run all the way from the bottom up to the top, and when we got here, I wanted to get a fire going. I didn't have any. There was just this straight to there, and it was cut off there. So I went out in the pile over here, and there was a bunch of all this stuff, you see, all this junk. This is weird too, because I put some spray foam in there, and there's no way in hell I would leave my garbage behind. But for some reason that's sitting there. So somebody else must have came in and did their own little bit of foam there. But yeah, all this junk has been here forever, from when this guy he had a trap line. This was a trapper's cabin. John Benson apparently was the guy that built it in 1949. So look at it, eh? And I've come here several times. Usually this section of roof was gone. One time I came and spent the night in it, and there was like a 2-foot snowbank in there. I had to dig the snow out to get because that's where I was sleeping. Now somebody's come in. I put some bridge timbers in here, and I don't know if somebody needed them for a ramp to get out, or they used it for firewood, or maybe Fish and Wildlife, they don't like anybody having cabins. If they find out somebody builds a cabin, they'll burn it down. But I mean, this one's historic. To me, this one should be saved. And it's not, it's like, you look at there's some rot over here, but the rest of them are not terrible. Well, that bottom one's brutal. I don't know. To me, it could be saved. Throw some new logs in, and it's just so cool. So, yeah, so I came in here, I don't know what year, 2009, something like that, 2010. I put all that little stuff in there. And I left some toilet paper and stuff for people. I used to leave a few little things, but it was always nice and neat and tidy. I put that flag up there. And there used to be, I don't know if it's on the ground now or what, but there used to be it was like a ram up in there. Oh, and I put that air freshener in there too, thinking that maybe the pack rat would stay out. And actually, like, I don't see any crap or anything anywhere. Before you could tell he'd been in here, so. And then I built a door for it. It was just a shady door. I always wanted to keep it looking just crappy and rustic, because I didn't want anybody to know that somebody was, say, fixing up. If I would have went and put a brand new roof on or something, they probably would just come and burned it down or tore it down. And I don't care anymore, because time's gone by, and I'm probably moving away from here anyway, so I don't care. I don't mind telling the story. But years ago, here we go. Let me shut my light off. So years ago, there's a guy that this is his trap line, this area. And I believe this belongs to him because of it, right? I don't think he's ever used it. I mean, it hasn't been used in 25 years since I've been here. I know that. There used to be an old bed in there. There used to be a binocular case. That wood stove, that was the one that was always in it. But I'll tell you a little story about that. We kind of kidnapped it for a couple of years. And so anyways, nobody was using the cabin even back then. It was just a place to stop and have a beer, have a fire, eat, cook something. I took my mom and her husband here one time, and taken several friends of mine that aren't from the area, just to drive by and, on our way up the trail, right? And so anyways, so I always used to fix the cabin up, like even before I had Chevelle. I don't know if I stayed in this cabin before her. I can't remember if I did or not. I don't think I did. So that would be prior to 2006. But I'd come here lots. And I remember coming here and kind of like fixing the roof on it and stuff because I wanted it to be around, right? Like there was a huge hole in the roof for probably about 2 or 3 years. And then I'd come and put tin up and stuff. And anyway, so then fast forward, I don't know, maybe 2009 or 2010 or something like that. And the guy that has the trap line here, I still don't know. I don't know if it's a dream, and I really want to ask him because I want to know, right? So I don't know if I had a dream or if I actually asked him, but here's how it goes. I asked him, hey, can I fix that cabin up? Because I'd like to just, in cases like this where I'm out here and, it's going to save my life. It saved my life one night when yeah, I think it did because it was in October. It was super cold. Where would I have slept that night? I didn't have a cot or anything like that. I think I had a tent though, but it was cold. It got really cold. I ended up breaking down my side-by-side way the heck over there. I ended up hiking to the cabin. It took me 2 hours to walk to this cabin. Then I walked the 8 or 9 kilometers to the bottom where my buddy met me. But anyway, so the story is that no, you can't fix it up. So whether I dreamed that or whether he actually said that, that was the story. So regardless, I didn't want to ever fix this thing. I wanted to still be able to stay here, and I wanted it to be warm and this and that, but I didn't want to like get in trouble for it, And I was worried that the Fish and Wildlife would come and maybe burn it down if they seen somebody who was here, or maybe the trapper. He's a real nice fellow. I thought, well, geez, maybe I'll, get him mad at me. And so what I did was I never asked him. And what I did was I came in here and I just did these little things so it still looked brutal, which is why that chimney pipe's the way it's at, and why I did bring I was going to put some newer chimney pipe, and I brought some, but it was the wrong size pipe. Geez, the whole GoPro is full of mosquitoes. They're just going crazy right now. And so I ended up, me and my buddy Travis, we came out here in his Cherokee one year, and I don't know if it was in the fall or what, but I had my business at the time, and he had his business going. He had a shop just behind mine, and he was renting the bay beside me, and he had a work experience kid working for him, who's a friend of mine, but he's quite a bit younger than me, and he was just starting in, like, he's a welder now, but he was just in high school or whatever, just work experience working for Travis kind of thing. And so I had this plate. Somehow on my travels, I found a piece of plate. It used to be green. I remember this. And then Mark, this work experience kid at the time, he welded this flange on. I can't remember if I had the piece or if they had it, but they put a big heavy duty piece. And look at the awesome weld he did. And he was just a kid at the time. He's a really good welder there. Anyway, and so then this is all there was. There was just this pipe. And so, but the thing is that thing sat in my shop. Oh man, it probably sat there for, this is actually my camera bag. It probably sat there in my shop for a good 2 years, maybe even 3. That wasn't the plan, but that's how long it stayed there. So this is the original stove, and it used to have 2 compartments. It used to have, half of it was for firewood, and then the back half was like an oven. Like you can see this thing here. And it never worked, and it wouldn't throw hardly any heat the way it was, and so I knew it needed more mass or something, because it was just paper thin, this thing. So that's why we welded this piece on top, or Mark did. I don't even know how the heck he welded to that. But yeah, so we just kept it looking brutal. Like the door doesn't even shut right. This is the damper. It's just as rustic as it gets, Not safe at all, probably, eh? So I came in here in that snowmobile trip. This piece here, I remember, was completely flattened. It was I just bent it out, and it's all galvanized, so it's pretty tough metal. and and so is the other piece. So I bent them out, and they just fit over top of this pipe, and well, heat rises, and I've had quite a few fires in this cabin. I've probably stayed in here about 6 times since I put that up. I always wanted to put the good chimney pipe on, but it never happened. And so yeah, so I'm gonna stay here. I hope that's not Dex waiting for me out there, but yeah, so that's why I took the center of the stove out too, by the way, so I could put full length logs. And we stayed here in March one time, me and my buddy and his daughter, and we were watching Goonies in here on my laptop, and it's funny. And yeah, we snowshoed in here. The snow was crazy deep in March. But I hope one of those trees don't fall on us. But I mean, it feels warmer in here than it does just when you walk out the door. I'm out of the wind. There's plastic in those 2 windows. I could probably figure out something for that. I'll put a piece of tin to go over the roof here, and we'll be dry for the night. I'll put my cot out. I don't know. Everything could be all soaking wet. The sleeping bag seems like it's wet. I don't know if it's soaked right through or not, but at least this way I can get some heat going and, you know, have a half decent warm night. I'm going to have to clean it up the best I can. Yeah, there's a golf ball here. Oh, is this it? There was a golf ball here. I don't want to touch anything. It's probably going to fall anyways. Look at that. Oh, brutal. Anyway, there was a golf ball that I had stuck in. Oh, it was right there. It was funny. I was on a hunting trip, and I was out here. I spent 2 days in this cabin, 2 or 3. And anyways, I had seen a glove way back there by like where you first come on the trailhead, like 10 kilometers back. I'd seen a glove, and I was thinking, well, you know, I'll just grab it, and who knows? I could see there was fresh tracks, so like, who knows? Maybe I'll run into the group. Like usually people arrive from the bottom, they go up, and there's a bunch of trails over here, and then they come back the way they came off. And so I grabbed the glove, and I went along, and I kept seeing their tracks, and I could tell I was getting closer to them, right? And so anyways, I caught up with them, and it turned out being a bunch of people I knew, and I don't know if it was one of them that had lost the glove or not, but anyway, they had a bunch of guns there. I had mine, and they had, I don't know what the heck it was, like an AR-15 something, or C4, or I don't know what it was. And we just had a big shootout and stuff like that, and it was funny, they were shooting like semi-auto at this golf ball. Oh, and the one guy had his, you know, golf clubs and a golf ball, and he was driving them out into the bush. It was funny. But after they were shooting at this golf ball, and they took a bunch of shots at it, and nobody hit it. And I don't know how far it was. Maybe like from here to the creek over there, I think it was. And so I pulled my rifle out, put a bullet in her, and took one shot, and boom, and put a hole right through the golf ball. It was funny. So I took that golf ball, and I put it up in here. But it didn't have a story behind it, but you just heard it, so there you go. So yeah, built by John Benson, 1949. I still hear that booming going on. Geez, I'd like to go over, but it's too much work. She's going. The Xbox. I don't know if you can see that. That's not Advil, that's sea salt. I just want to be good and dry for when I leave to go home, you know? Oh yeah, now I can smell the smoke. She's time to shut her down, folks.